What's up, and thanks for coming back to the Clay Allen Review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Fifine Tank 2. It's one of their more recent microphones, and if you think this is something that you might be interested in, stick around. Full disclosure, Fifine did send this microphone out to me for review, but as always, these are my opinions. Nothing here promises a good or bad outcome, so it's just an honest look at the microphone and to see how it sounds and what we think of it. The Tank 2 is a handheld USB XLR combo microphone. It offers 192 kilohertz to 24-bit sample rate. You also get real-time monitoring through a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. It has a solid metal build, and it uses a cardioid polar pattern. That means it's designed to pick up your voice directly in front while rejecting noise from the sides and the back. So what do you say we go ahead and get this thing unboxed and see what comes inside? And you've got your usual stuff. This is a receipt from when they sent it. And then you've got some your paperwork here, your user's guide. If you need to refer back to anything, this is where you're going to do it. I'm not going to look at that right now because I'm not too worried about it. All right. And then inside is the microphone. Oh, look, and it comes with a pop filter. Let's go ahead and let's not do like everybody else. We're just going to jump right to the microphone. And we've got some squished foam. I'm sure that'll expand a little bit as we move along. But there's the microphone. It does come with a mic clip to put it onto your boom arm. And you've got your mute button or on and off switch right here on the front. And then you've got your connections down at the bottom. XLR right here. USB-C. You have a mic volume control and your headphone jack. And then underneath, there's what it looks like. It's nice. I mean, it looks quality. It feels a little heavy, you know, as far as handheld microphones go. But there's that. And then that's pretty much it. We can move on to the rest of it. So it looks like we've got a base stand, a USB cable, so it's type A to type C, and the neck for the base stand. And it looks to be like it's a telescoping or telescopic style stand, and it is. And there you go. You can extend that up to get it a little taller, whatever you need to get it in the right or closest to the right position to your mouth, so that you're doing some proper mic etiquette. All right, so let's go ahead and put this stuff together, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, so I'm going to start this off in USB mode. We'll go ahead and do some plosives just real quick. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, and he put the pineapple on his pizza. That is with the pop filter on. Let me go ahead and pop it off real quick. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, and he puts pineapple on his pizza. That's how they're going to sound if you're not using the pop filter. All right, so there's the plosives. Let's move on to some off-axis rejection. All right, we're talking straight into the front of the mic, and this is what it's going to sound like if you roll right over to 90 degrees. And then if you go right back around to the front of the mic, this is what it's going to sound like. And then we'll come back over to the other side for another 90 degrees. And then we can go to the back for 180 degrees. This just gives you an idea of what its rejection is like, how it's going to reject all of those sounds that aren't directly in front of the microphone or directly in front of the capsule. So there's your off-axis rejection. And then as far as sound resonance goes or vibrations, if you were using this desk stand that it comes with, this is what it's going to sound like. Let me check one thing real quick. Yeah, this is what it's going to sound like, and I'm not using any processing or any filters in OBS. This is, if you can hear me bumping the chords on the back, tapping on the base of the desk stand or the post of the desk stand, and then right on the mic. And this is what it's going to sound like key tapping. Now this is kind of more towards the front of the mic. Let's put the keyboard down here. Just wanted you to see the keyboard. this is what it would sound like if you were typing with your keyboard actually on the desk. One thing I did forget to mention that I want to point out is it does have a mute button here. It's like almost like an on and off switch, but as you can see, it's green, and then green means you can hear me, and then if you switch, and that's how it works. And when it is muted, it is red. When it is not muted, it is back to green. So before I get too far into this, what do you think of this microphone so far? If you have a comment, or if you've got an opinion about it, what you're hearing so far, the sound of it, leave a comment down below. I'd appreciate it. All right, so now we're in XLR mode. One thing I did notice is that it doesn't need as much gain as some of my other mics. I'm currently sitting at 40 dB, and it sounds pretty decent to me. Loud enough, not crackling, and maybe not too quiet. But we'll go ahead and do some plosives real quick on this mic in XLR mode. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. There's your plosives. Let's go ahead and do some off-axis rejection. Take it out of here, and this is what it's going to sound like talking straight into the front of the mic. As we move around to 90 degrees, this is what that's going to sound like. If I've got enough, this is 180 degrees, and then we'll come back around to the front of the mic. There's your off-axis rejection. Again, we just do that to give you an example of how well it's cutting out those background noises that are not things that aren't directly in front of it. So there's your off-axis. There's your off-axis rejection. All right, so after using it for a little bit in both modes, XLR and USB, I'm pretty impressed. I think it sounds pretty good. I like that it doesn't require a whole lot of gain. Because the more gain you turn on, the more room noise you're going to bring into the microphone. So that's nice. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't have any process running. Processing, no filters in OBS. This is just what it sounds like the whole time. That's how we've been, just regular plain Jane right out of the box. So not too bad to me. And you can get this, I think, for around $50 right now on Amazon. So not a bad deal for something that you've got the versatility of having USB and XLR in one microphone, a handheld microphone. So if you want to take it and do some stuff on a stage or some interview style stuff, not a bad choice. I think you couldn't go wrong doing this microphone and doing those things with it. So not bad, fine. So if you got anything out of this review, please leave me a comment. I'd appreciate that, and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. If you haven't subscribed already, you can do that. I would appreciate it. And that's about all I've got for the Tank 2. I'm out.